All right, welcome everyone. Welcome. In this video, we're going to be doing, you guessed it, trend line training. And specifically, what I want to do is I just want to look at a ton of examples for you all. We're going to be going through different market conditions and just going with the flow of the market, seeing what we can find, marking up our trend lines, practicing together, and just really just kind of talking through it as we go together so that you know what I'm thinking when I see certain market conditions. And hopefully we'll go through so much data in this video that you feel confident and are able to go into the markets on your own and mark up, analyze, and trade your own trend lines. So I've got platinum pulled up here, platinum against the US dollar on the daily time frame. We're going to be just going through it. Let's just start over here right in this area. So we're going to draw a vertical line right here and just start from right there. Okay, so the first thing I'm noticing for trend lines, so we've got this right here and this right here, and we're going to connect those with our trend line. All right, so we're just going to throw our trend line just like this, and then let's go ahead and tidy this up. So remember, what are the rules for drawing this? We want to connect the very bottom right here, the very bottom boundary with the boundary here, and this is the outermost boundary. So notice how I don't have it like this or anything like that. It's out here, okay? Outermost boundary, all right? And then we can see right here, price did find support here, bounced up to make a new high after that. When we breached, so when price breached down, we came back up, found resistance. So the resistance candle was right here. That was the sell opportunity. And then now we're going to have a new trend line. So let's get rid of these markings right here. And then let's go take a look at the next example. So the next example, we're going to start up here. We have a peak in the market. And then we've got a peak in the market right here as well. So we're going to connect these, start right here, pull through like so, and just bring this down. All right, so let's zoom in here. Let's make sure that we've got it connected accurately, and we do. So again, we are looking at this wick right here and this outermost boundary right here. Notice how when price bounced down from here, what did it do? It came back up right here, found resistance, and then shot down. Now, when that happened, notice how price kind of wigged through right here. So we need to adjust our trend line. We're going to pull it out just a little bit. So we're looking right here at this wick. Now we've pulled it out a little bit. And then what's price going to do now? It comes down, comes back up to our resistance, and then what? Drops again. But when it does that, look right here. Again, this wick stuck out right here through our trend line, so we're going to adjust it again. So we pull it out. And then that's our final trend line. All right, so the next thing I'm noticing is we have another peak in the market right here. So when I see that there's this peak in the market when we come down, I'm thinking, okay, what other significant peak have we had recently? Well, this one. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull us out here, and I'm going to connect these two together like so. All right, and let's just zoom in and make sure that we're doing this right. We need the outermost boundaries, and it looks like we've got them. So notice how price, okay, we shoot down, of course. Now that we've got this trend line marked, price comes back up to our trend line and then wicks through. So then what do we do when this wicks through? We adjust it, right? Like so. So just to be nice and thorough, this wick right here was why we adjusted it. So when this closed, we adjusted the trend line. And then look, price flowed within our resistance real nicely, dropped back down, came back up, and then dropped down again. So let's pull out here and then get rid of this yellow here. So I hope you're starting to get a feel for this and seeing how price is reacting at these levels. Let's go ahead and extend this trend line through and see what happens. So price comes up here, wicks through, we adjust it, wicks through, we adjust it, and then breaches. And that's that. Trend line's over. So what happens after that? What happens after that? What does price do? Well, we breach with a decent candlestick. What are we expecting now that our descending trend line, which was once acting as, so this was acting as resistance. What do we expect is going to act as now? Support, right? And what does it do? It acts as support. See, right in this area, price came back down, found support, bounced, found support, bounced, found support, bounced, and then ultimately we will see a change in direction right here. So let's get rid of this, zoom back out. All right, so one thing that's important to note, all right here in this area, the market was bullish, so the trend line was drawn underneath. It's an ascending trend line drawn underneath price, showing the support that's holding price up. And then when that broke and we entered our downtrend, we noted the trend line that was above price, the resistance that was holding price down. And then same thing, when that ultimately broke, we continued down, so our trend line was above price again. So let's keep going. Let's keep going. All right, so I'm noticing that we have a peak in the market right here. So let's zoom out. Let's get rid of these because they're throwing me off a little bit. Let's get rid of this. Now, what is our most recent significant peak? I'm looking at this one right here. All right, so we're going to pull that one through. And again, it doesn't really matter, guys. Like, you can connect any peaks that you want. I can choose to connect these two peaks if I really want to. Watch, I'm going to pull it through. Watch what happens, okay? So I'm connecting these two peaks in the market for this trend line, and look what happens. Look how well respected this is. Price breaks through, retests twice, and then keeps going. All right? So it doesn't matter what peaks you choose to connect. They're all going to work. They're all accurate. So let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of this. I personally want to use this overarching peak in the market right here, and it'll become clearer to you as you practice more why I'm doing that. All right, so that's the trend line I'm using. You can see what happens after that. Price comes back up to this, finds resistance, drops, comes back up, finds resistance, drops, breaks through with a large candle, and we don't seem to get a retest right here, but we do continue on bullish. So let's see, are there any other examples we can use in here? There are. So smaller examples, got peak right here, peak right here. Let's connect them. Let's connect these just like that. Boom. Look what happened. We had resistance right here. Price came up, fell, came up, fell. Just like that. You adjusted it, pulled it across. Look at that. Oh, you're so mad. Isn't that beautiful? The price came up, fell, we adjusted it, broke through, came back to retest it. What was once holding as resistance now becomes support, and we fly off. Isn't that amazing? Amazing how this works. And notice how, too, this is a great example of this. What was a diagonal level to begin with then became basically horizontal. So notice if I get rid of this trend line and I replace it with a horizontal support and resistance level, look at that. It's the same exact thing. These things are the exact same as horizontal traditional support and resistance. They're just diagonal. All right, so next example. Hope you guys are having fun with this. So here's the valley in the market. Here's a valley in the market. Let's connect them and watch the magic happen. So we're going to connect right here to right here. Notice again, using the outer boundaries here. All right, so zoom in. So what ends up happening in this case, price shoots off, comes back and finds support, but look at this. It wicks through our trend line, so we're going to adjust our trend line. I'm going to pull that down, and we're going to pull it through. And then look what happens over here. Okay, price wicks through our trend line, so we're going to adjust it and pull it through. And then look what happens next. Price wicks through our trend line, so we're going to adjust it and pull it through. And then look what happens right here. Price wicks through our trend line, so we're going to adjust it and pull it through. And then look what happens. Price breaches with a strong candlestick, retests, and then we drop. So this held as support, strong candle breach, retest, and boom, that was that. Beautiful. Now, a lot of people, guys, they don't understand the market well enough to trade these successfully. But if you understand the concepts that we're teaching you here, you'll be able to apply these things and be a part of the few market participants in the retail space that actually make money. Look, I want to show you all this too. So we were using this trend line right here, but there were other opportunities here. So there's other valleys in the market that you can use to connect. So what happens if you use these instead? Let's find out. What happens if we connect these two right here? Look at that. Did it work? Here, let me move this out of the way so you can see. Did it work? Yes, it did work. Price came up, found support, came back, found support, came back up, and then look, we had to adjust for this wick right here. So let's zoom in. So we have to adjust for this wick right here. So we're going to do that. We're going to pull it through. And look at that. Wow, look at this break and retest right here. So price breaks with a strong candle, retest, drops. All right. And what is this? What is this referred to as right here? This is support becoming resistance, break, and retest. All right. That's what this is. You need to understand these concepts. These concepts are important. They're used over and over and over again. All right, zoom back out. Let's look at another example. So price is going down right here. You can connect this right here with like this right here, but it's not like a solid like swing. You can do it. It's not my favorite, but it does work. You connect it when price breaks it, you're buying type thing. Not my favorite though. If it was me, I'd look for this peak and then I'd look for like this peak right here. So seeing that this drops right here, I would connect these two outer boundaries like so. And then, so if we zoom in right here, what happens is these wicks come in. So we'll have to do a little bit of adjusting. So after that wick closes, we pull this out. And then after this wick closes right here, we pull it out. And this is great because I want you to see that this is not always going to work perfectly. It works a lot, but it doesn't work always, as with everything that we teach. So in this case, when price broke through, it did find a little bit of support now, but ultimately it breaks back in, retests on the inside, finding resistance, and then drops, okay? So it's still respecting the level, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you saw a strong volatile push in the direction that you may have actually been trying to trade. All right, so it's good that we see these examples here, but let's go ahead and let's get rid of this. And let's look at some of the other possibilities that you could have been looking at in this area for trend lines. So, all right, so let's pull over here. We've got this right here. Let's connect these, pull through. Let's see what happens. So I'm going to pull this all the way through here. Look at this. This is actually quite incredible. So let's get the brush tool. Okay, so when we come up, we break. We come down, we hold a support. We come down, we hold a support. We come down, we hold a support. Support, 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 support. Rise off. Okay, beautiful. So price was just grinding, holding against this support right here once we breached. Incredible. All right, so let's zoom out here. Look at this. Look at this. When you zoom out, you can see this. See these lows over here? All right, that we already talked about earlier. See this low right here? Let's connect them. Let's connect them. Outer boundary. Look what happened. There's your buy opportunity right here. When price came back down, bounced off the trend line, that was ultimately what caused price to soar off. Amazing, isn't it? All of these work. They all work. Pick any peak, pick any valley. They will all work. Let's get rid of all this. I say they will all work. Obviously, there's going to be some losing trades, but the consistency of these principles and your ability to make money on them, I mean, it's incredible. Here we go. We've got a valley right here. We've got a valley right here. Let's connect them. Let's connect them. What happens? Price comes up, comes back down to our trend line, finds support, bounces up, breaks with a strong candle, retests, finds resistance, continues on to the downside. Beautiful. All right.
What if I connected this one though?
Okay. Let's take a look. Connect these right here. What happens? With this, price comes up, comes down, finds support, comes back up, and then breaches, retests, finds resistance, comes back down, finds support at the next trend line, bounces, breaches that trend line, retests, continues on. Beautiful how price is moving between these diagonal support and resistances. Let's look at some other ones. Let's connect this peak with this peak. Let's see what happens there. Just connect this, pull it through. All right. So price is coming down, comes back up to our trend line, finds resistance, drops. Breaks through with a strong candle, retests, finds support, flies. That's simple. Moving over here. Let's see what we've got. We've got a valley, we've got a low right here. In fact, let's zoom back out. Look at this. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. It looks like there is this right here connecting these bottoms down here. So again, just noting this valley in the market, that low, noting this low in the market, and then connecting them with a trend line, seeing what happens. What happened? Boom! Oh my goodness. That was just stupid. I'm gonna have to name this video Stupid Pips. That was incredible. Look at that. So it really works this way. Let's zoom out here and take a look. What happens when we bring this out? All right. So again, remember, because we did have these wicks come through, we want to adjust it, pull it out to the end of those wicks, and then pull it through. And then look what happens. Look what happens. This is incredible. We're coming down, find a little bit of support, break through, find resistance, and drop hard. Come back up, still holds its resistance, drops hard. Come back up, resistance. Come back up, resistance. Drop, drop, drop. Incredible. Incredible how price is playing between these diagonal support and resistance levels. Let's come back over here to this area. All right. So I hope you guys are understanding kind of the flow here, how you're analyzing and marking these. It doesn't matter. Pick any two valleys or lows. Pick any two highs. It doesn't matter. Let's just zoom here. Let's just zoom out. All right. Look, it's this simple. Matter of fact, let's clear everything off. Okay. So here's the top. Here's the top. Just connect them. Just connect them. Use the rules. Okay. Connect them like this, like you're supposed to, and just use the rules. No big deal. All right. Now in this case, you did not get an entry here because price didn't come back to retest, but let's pull out here and see what happens when price actually gets back to this trend line. All right, so look at this. Look at this. Price found support even though it was all the way over there. See how that works? All right, let's do this again. Let's pick another one. It literally does not matter here. Here's a low in the market. Here's a low in the market. Let's say that you're right around this area when you notice that. All right, connect these bad boys right here and wait and see. All right, again, when we broke through here, we didn't really get a trade opportunity, at least not on this time frame, but that's how you do it. That's how you mark these. Now look at this. We've got a peak here. We've got a peak here. Let's connect them. Let's connect them. Boom. All right. So price came back up and found resistance there. All right. Let's zoom back out here. All right. So let's see. We've got more peaks in here. Matter of fact, why don't we connect our two newest peaks right here? Go ahead and connect these. So we'll use that wick and that wick. Let me get rid of this previous one right here. Get rid of this. We'll get rid of this. Okay, now look. All right, teaching moment. So with these two peaks right here, you could pull this down off in here and connect, you know, this, and then pull it into the bodies and connect it like that. And that's how people teach it. You know, they have all different kinds of ways of teaching it. Do as we suggest, you will make money. Use the outer boundaries. Okay? Use the outer boundaries. Let's pull through. Look at that. Okay? Look how this works. Price came up. And then, look at this. So we're going to zoom way in here. All right. These wicks right here, you adjust, pull up like that. And then price holds right here. Price holds and then sells off. And you're in that sell because you had this trend line marked. Let's see, this was June of 2018. We had this trend line marked over here in February of 2018. So you were waiting a few months and you got the sell right there. Now you adjust the trend line out to this wick right here, and that breaks through. So you now have your outermost boundary, and let's pull it through and see what happens. All right, so in this case, again, I love to show these examples of areas where it's not 100% clean because it happens sometimes. So price broke through, came back in, didn't hold perfectly as support. We did end up holding at support and going on, but there's a little bit of a whipsaw right here. It's going to happen sometimes. It's going to happen. But if you haven't noticed already, if you look at like the ratio of how these things play out, more often than not, you're looking at winning trades. All right. So let's get rid of this now. Let's look at some other examples in here. Again, it really doesn't matter. The only thing that matters, it's important to note, is that in this area in here, in this entire area, you know, like we're in a downtrend, the market's falling. So, you know, we're really only interested in, let's see here, really only interested in our peaks. All right. So we're looking to connect peaks. So it looks like we've got this one, these, this one, okay, this one, all right, this one, we got this one, this one. I'm just looking at peaks. Where are our peaks at? What are the possibilities that we can use to draw and trade trend lines, all right? Peaks in the market. All right, and then over in this area, we're bullish. So we're looking at what? Looking at our lows, our valleys, okay? Now, don't be like overly hard on yourself and overcomplicate it. Even though we're bullish here, you can connect these trend lines on top. It's not going to hurt you. It's just not going to give you the information you really, really want. All right, when we talk about channels, you'll see that it's totally fine. But again, trying to instill good trading habits here. All right, so let's just connect some. So you can connect this right here. It's not really going to do you very much, but you can. Okay, let's see what else we've got. We can connect these two right here. Okay, and again, that's a fair connection. You know, you lose this trade, but it was still a fair connection. So there's a loss, an example of a loss. What else we got right here? So you can connect these two coming down. That was actually a pretty solid trade, not on this time frame, but you would have been entering on the lower time frame. When price came back up, it rejected very nicely, and then you got a nice buy opportunity right here when it broke. So let's see what else we've got. Okay, we can connect this. Don't really get anything there though. We can connect this. Again, don't really get anything there. We can connect this, right? Again, this actually, if we look at this, let's see what happens here. So get rid of these arrows. Looks like price wicked through right here. So we adjust, and then it wicked through again. So we adjust, and then it looks like it wicked through again, adjust. You actually don't end up losing in this area. This is actually a solid hold right here. So it's actually a pretty good trade opportunities there. Again, a lot of it's just understanding how to properly adjust your trend lines to market conditions, which is why we spend so much time focusing on your ability to adjust and your ability to draw these things accurately at any given time. So like right now, this needs to come right on out here. All right, let's pull it through. Let's see what happens. Okay, so price was bouncing as resistance. We needed to adjust, and then boom. So we adjusted because this area had poked through, and then price bounced down again from the resistance, broke through, strong candle, retested, found support, continued on. All right, that was that. What other peaks could we have connected? So we could have connected these right here. If you connected these, you got a solid sell opportunity right here against the trend line. And then price broke the trend line here and then held its support, bounced, held its support, bounced. I'll extend this trend line down so you see actually how that worked. Look at this. Get rid of this. This is incredible. Pinpoint support on the other end, bounced up. Very nice trading opportunity. Okay, what else? You could have connected these. All right. Again, same concept. Price held its support on the other side when it broke. Nice trading opportunities there. Get rid of some of these yellow circles on the screen. They're kind of throwing me off a little bit. All right, what else could we have connected? We could have connected this like that. Again, pretty simple stuff. Resistance right here, broke through. Resistance became support. We continued on. All right, what else could we have connected? We could have connected these right here. Oh, look at that. Just sell, sell, sell. Let's pull it through. Let's see what happens. All right, again, look, right here. It's one of our valleys. That's why these valleys probably exist, retesting this level, and then flew up. Beautiful. Easy stuff. It doesn't matter, guys. It really doesn't matter which ones you connect. They should all work. Very solid trading opportunities. Let's see what we've got over here. We're actually coming up on the live market. So right here, we've got peak in the market, peak in the market. Connect them with our trend line. See what happens. All right. So first thing we need to note, price held at resistance right here, but it did wick through a little bit, so let's adjust it. Like so. Move this, make sure. Okay, looks good. All right, now down here, price held, peaked through a little bit. Let's adjust it. All right, make sure we adjust it to those wicks there, and adjust it to the wick there, and then boom, there we go. Solid break, came back down, held here. Why did that level hold right here? Because we've got a trend line down here, holding it. Okay, pretty nice. How do we get that trend line? We have a low right here, a low right here. All right, we're just connecting them. And then price gets back down here and then flies up. Now, there's a little bit of a whipsaw right here. All right, you can see, if you look closely, see that price bounces a little bit, breaks through with a stronger candlestick, retests, does come down holding at resistance, but ultimately breaks back in, retests, and continues up. Again, we'll talk about that stuff in later videos, how to handle those situations and remain profitable in those cases and all that. But here, let's do a live market one real quick. Move everything live market, okay? So the low right here, the low right here. There's your trend line. That's simple, all right? What are we looking to do with this trend line? We either want to price to come back so that we can buy, or if price breaks this, We want to see it come back up to test it as resistance and then sell off. All right? It's that simple. So I hope that we went through enough examples in this video for you to understand the concepts of how to identify the trend lines, how to properly mark the different points that you need to connect, how to connect them properly. Hopefully it took some of the stress off your shoulders. Hope I didn't go too fast, but if I did, just go back through the video several times and use it as a reference anytime you feel like you're struggling. All right, and trend lines are so important. You know, diagonal support and resistance is so important. So if y'all are, for some reason, struggling with these concepts and how to actually draw these or how to trade them or identify them or get the right ones, let me know or let Easton know. We'll put out more videos with more examples. We'll go in deeper if we need to. It's time for you now to go out and practice on your own.